Hello everyone. Today we will change the topic from the rules of the game to the game of life. Shall we do that? Okay, why game of life? Well, if we think about life like a simulation we are thrown into just to see how well we will survive, it could actually be a game. And maybe our purpose here is to really level up. Can this be the case? Maybe. Why not? A couple weeks ago, I watched an old movie from 1990s. The name of the movie is Defending Your Life. It's actually a nice and easy romantic fantasy about two people. Two people's stories about how they defend their lives in the transitional world after that. I will not ruin all the movie by telling what it is about, but the core theme that's in the essence of the movie is actually how well we face our fears in life. If you do well, you just scale up to another plane of existence. And if you cannot really overcome your fears, overcome your lower energies and transmute them into something higher, something more beautiful, better, then you just either repeat the same mistakes in life till you learn your lessons, or if your life is not long enough and it ends, you are in this transitionary stage, like in the case of the movie, you just have to defend your life, and if you can pass, wonderful, you level up. If not, you are thrown back to earth once again to redo everything and hopefully do this in a different way this time. It's an interesting question, isn't it? What if this thing we call as life is actually a game, an illusion, just the mirrors we see all around us that really reflects back what our perception is? And there are so much actually Eastern philosophies talking about this, like ancient yogic texts. They all say the same thing. What we name as life is a true reflection of our perceptions, and it's not real in that sense. So maybe life is actually a game. Thinking about the games, actually, I just remembered a nice analogy that's really fitting very well with this. Do you remember the game Pac-Man? Like you have this little small yellow guy, like in Eaten Pizza. It's a maze game where our Pac-Man, this yellow small character, is trying to eat all the dots while traveling around the maze. And while doing so, he or she's trying to escape from all the ghosts, so the ghosts don't eat her or him. It's actually such a sweet analogy for life and our fears. What if our life is this big maze that the Pac-Man operates in, and in our own worlds we are the Pac-Mans, and we are going through this maze of life trying to escape from all of our fears, because the fears are our ghosts, and the more we try to escape from them, the more actually we are stuck in the same maze, in the same level. And usually life is very loving and they are really, it's really trying to teach us what we need to learn in the best ways possible. But if we are so stuck in our ghosts, if we are so afraid, and if we are always running, and if we don't take really time to step back and see what the life is trying to reflect back to us and what our lessons are, then we just repeat the same mistakes all over again, all over again. And each time, this time, the level of ghosts scale up a little bit till we understand what the lesson is and hopefully change this time. It doesn't have to be this way all the time. Do we really have to hurt so much because we are not really brave enough to face our fears, and every time we are really suffering more, we are suffering more? Does it have to be this way? Maybe there's another lighter path. What if we change the rules of the game? What if instead of running from the ghosts, we start chasing the ghosts? Well, if you are afraid of speaking in front of public, why don't you try to turn the video on and start speaking? Small steps. Come to the edge where you feel quite uncomfortable. Just take one more step. Or if you have been always emotionally closed in most of your life, and that has been your lesson, whenever something turned out to be more intimate, you just escaped, and that has been always your pattern, why don't you really choose to stay a little bit longer this time? Why don't you try to get one step closer? Open up just a little bit more each time. Face your fears step by step. Maybe if we take the other path, if we change the rules of the game, we can use the game of life to liberate ourselves from these illusionary fears. And it's really like cleansing. If we have so much dust in us, around us, well, the first few ones is gonna be tough and challenging, but the more that we learn the skill, and the more actually we learn that it's not the fears that we are afraid of, it's really not facing the fears. And being stuck in that mindset is our biggest challenge. And once you start learning and doing it for once, it just becomes easier. And the more that you cleanse, the more you become lighter. So the first step and taking the first challenge might be the most important test, but it might only get easier over time. Is it worth trying? I think so. Well, if we are in this game of life and we are all pac-mans of our own journeys, instead of escaping from the ghosts of our lives, instead of really escaping from all our fears, can we try to change the rules of the game? Can we try to face our fears, face them with love, face them with understanding, and trust our inner wisdom, inner guidance to show the path to transform them to better things, more beautiful things. And it doesn't have to be painful all the time. The first step is the most challenging one, but if we take it, it might be even a fun game where we'll learn and explore more about life and its depths each and every other day. Well, it doesn't look like the Pac-Man, but I would like to end the video with a cute smile just to inspire us to take it light and take it easy, but be brave enough to be the Pac-Mans of our lives and change the rules of the game and chase all those ghosts so that we can be free, so that we can be happy. Can we do that? I think we can. Smile. See you next time, everyone. Bye.